Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of season 5 here in the Career Mode RTG. It's December, we're leading up to the January transfer window, and we've some big games in today's episode. Manchester City away, Tottenham at home, and then relegation rivals Southampton also away. They'll probably be the 3 games that I play, and we'll sim West Ham at home and Wolves at home. Give ourselves the best possible chance of getting some points in those home games with the simulations, and then we shall play against City, Tottenham, and then, as you can see, currently bottom side Southampton. We got 2 victories in the last episode, which were crucial to rising us away from the bottom 3. We were in the relegation zone at the beginning of the last episode. Important games today, difficult games today. West Ham are 6th, Wolves are 8th, City are 2nd, and Spurs are 4th. So it's a terribly difficult month for us. One thing I want to address, actually, and I mentioned it in the comments section of a couple of episodes, and obviously some videos are recorded ahead of time, so I haven't had the chance to respond to this in an actual video yet. But a few people have been saying that I should only select or manually alter the starting 11 for the top 6 sides and not the full league, because well, I don't really know why you'd want just those top 6 sides with the full starting 11 as opposed to other sides in the league. But in the last episode I played Huddersfield, and by default they had a 69 rated goalkeeper in goal, when Lursel, who was 78 or 79, was fully fit and on the bench. Yes, I know form plays a factor with what sides the AI put out initially. However, there is an issue with that. That being that, say you start the season, everyone who should be first team is in the first team. One player in central midfield has a bad game, gets bad form, gets replaced in the starting lineup by someone who's much lower rated on the bench, and they then start. That player that is now currently in bad form, is now on the bench, will then get substituted in the 70th minute and not have a chance to regain that form, to regain the starting spot back. It then only goes on the form, not the overall of the player. And if the 65 rated replacement is averaging 6.6 when the 82 rated first teamer is averaging 6.5, the 82 rated first teamer will never be put back into the starting squad again. It's an issue with career mode that has been a problem for years, and that's why I look at rating over form when I'm selecting the size for my opposition. It was fine in the lower leagues, but at this level, with the side we have, I want the challenge. I don't want to just walk across half the teams in the league because they're putting out weakened sides, and then when I play the top sides in the league, I then walk over them occasionally like we did with Manchester United because they again play weakened sides. Occasionally, yes, a big side might put out a rotated side because of European competition. I admit that, you have a point. But in the majority of other scenarios, any team would put out their best side against any other team in the Premier League because it's the Premier League and any team can beat anyone else. That's why I want the challenge. We've had 3 seasons of straight promotion. I don't want to walk into the Premier League and go straight into Europe. I want this relegation battle. It keeps things entertaining, keeps things fresh, and for you guys watching, and fresh for me recording as well. Obviously with the Achieve and Leave series, we have a whole series based around trying to at least win as much as possible. I like this challenge. One of the most successful series on the channel, one of the most successful individual seasons on the channel, was my near relegation season with Southampton on FIFA 18. This looks like it's going to be a season just like that, and I'm so excited about tackling that challenge. So, as such, I will be continuing to alter the starting lineups of all of my opposition in the Premier League to their highest rated and theoretically strongest 11 moving forward. That said, let's crack on with the episode. Do drop the video a like if you enjoy. I do very much appreciate all of your feedback, and please do continue to give it. What you will have to bear in mind, it might be frustrating at times that something like that feedback that you've been giving, I might want to do something slightly different with my series. So I can fully appreciate that you might prefer to see something different in certain scenarios within the save. And sometimes I'll agree with you and I'll change things, and sometimes I won't. I'll keep things how they are. This is just one of those latter situations. So hopefully you can put up with that. Hopefully you can look past that. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable series so far. It's been one of the best series we've done on the channel ever, I think, so far. Even out of all of the career mode RTGs that we've done with Cambridge United. And hopefully we can continue to have a successful series and you guys will continue to enjoy watching it day in, day out. Let's go and simulate the game against, actually, let me just, no, because it did put Gerzic in there. I was going to maybe replace, because it's going to throw a goalkeeper, it's going to throw Green on the bench, but the goalkeeper into the striking position where Gerzic was. Never mind. West Ham are actually on a 3-game winning streak, twice against Fulham, and they beat Inter Milan as well, and they've gone 1-0 up against me after 4 minutes too. Well, they're up there in the top 6 or 8 in the league, aren't they? So it was always going to be a difficult game. It's going to be a hell of a difficult month. Suarez Garcia, though, scores a penalty before half-time to bring us back level. We are unbeaten in 2 and on a 2-win streak. I'd be quite happy to just stay unbeaten in 3 if we can. Not that fussed about maintaining the win streak. And the unbeaten streak does continue. But it's been a couple of days since I recorded the last episode. Let me check and see what our unbeaten streak actually is. So obviously, did we lose the first game of the last episode or did we not? I've been trying to move a few players out on loan and a few will be going out on loan once the January window starts. We are on that was a draw, that was a win, and we lost to Everton. So we are on a 3-game unbeaten streak and currently up to 12th in the league. Although, we're only 2 points above the relegation zone. So we can't take anything for granted right now as we approach the halfway stage in the season. And one thing that I'm not sure what to do is with regards the upcoming transfer window. I don't have much money available to me. Only about £8 million, which isn't enough to adequately replace or improve upon anyone in the current squad or any of the youngsters we're looking at bringing through to take over in the first team. So I'm not sure how much business is going to get done in the January transfer window. If I get a bid for a player that I would consider selling, and it's of a decent amount or a decent amount that could be negotiated yet higher, I would consider replacing someone in the side. One player that has, despite their rating and recent performances in recent seasons, underperformed this year is Uno. He's 79 rated. He's got 4 assists in 14 games. I have not been impressed with him in the first 6 months of the Premier League. I have to be honest. I would consider selling him. He's probably the one player of that starting 11 at present that I would lean towards selling and replacing at this stage. Penny is still going to continue on as my first team left back for the rest of this season, I think. Getroda, actually there's been a little bit of a call to actually start training Getroda, which I'm leaning away from at present. He has grown this season already, and he is still very effective. Yes, his overall rating will affect me in simulated games, but that's part and parcel of having a lower rated player. I'm still very happy with his performances, and I'm going to continue to keep he and Perella alongside each other at the back. I would consider I don't want to sell Penny though. That's the problem. I don't want to sell Penny. I could maybe bring in, because he's only 18 there, Mancini. I could maybe loan Mancini and buy an older wing back to kind of fill the gap whilst Mancini goes and grows, and then Penny could be my backup. Because the thing is, Penny's only 24 and he's got potential of like 79. So there's still plenty of room left for him to grow. There's plenty of room left for everyone to grow in this starting 11. Even SABBI, whose supposed potential maxes out at 76. Well, he's got to 77 already. So he's clearly performing very, very well in this save. So I'm not sure what to do in the January transfer window, if I'll even do anything. It depends on what bids I get and for who. Someone actually made a very, very good comment in one of the previous 2 episodes, that being number of players in promoted sides and in bottom half sides, if they're having a good season, they tend to attract interest from teams higher up in the division or higher up in European football. and tend to leave to that higher club to further their career, shall we say. So I would take into consideration, if I get a bid for some of my players from a top 4 side, potentially selling that player to then fund another move for someone else. Because if that were realistic, or if it were real life, you might think that the lower rated player or player from the smaller club in the division would move to the higher club in the division to try and further their career. The only real outlier to that recently has been Riyad Mahrez, that stayed at Leicester for an extra couple of seasons before finally going to Manchester City, but I don't really know the ins and outs of that deal, whether Leicester were just resilient and didn't want to sell him, or whether Mahrez wanted to leave and just bided his time. I don't know the ins and outs, but obviously they were looking to sign him for a while, Manchester City. We will accept that loan bid for Lewis Baker. I'm going to try and send out a number of my youngsters on loan if I can. So I'm really not sure what to do. This guy is 6 foot, Taylor Mason. We'll see. We'll wait and see if he's any good. We'll wait and see. We can always just release him at a later point if he doesn't turn out to be that good. You could be decent, Oscar Wright. Although I want to see where you play, because I've just signed a centre-back. And obviously we have a number of centre-mids already at the club. This guy, 78 to 94 potential, but he's very low to start off with. Again, we'll wait and see where you play first. That might still be a no. That's a definite yes regardless. Because we could always sell him on at a later date for profit, and we'll wait and see about Albin Sørensen. I did call up a youngster in a previous episode off camera, I believe. I will double check. You are 400 grand at 16 years of age. Again though, they all look like they're central players, and I've got so many people in those areas. I just can't commit. I can't commit to players in those areas. You're 15, so we'll give that an extra month and see what position you're going to be in. I've just got so many players in central areas that it's really difficult. I've got, to be fair, I've just got so many players in every position, really. I've got wingers, I've got centre mids, I've got centre backs. I've got a lot of wingers actually, a lot of wingers and a lot of centre mids. I could do with. Wow, and I've got 3 strikers as well. I just have a lot of players, to be honest. It's going to get to the point where we're going to have to stop investing in youth, or looking at youth players through the scouting system, because I quite simply just can't keep up. Who was the other guy I called up? There's Taylor Mason, sorry. He's currently 55 rated. Okay physical stats, though sprint speed could be slightly higher. Balance and agility isn't the best. Balance, specifically his reactions, are terrible actually. Was it you, Lucas Henriksen? No, you're the one I just called up. Was it? It might have been Sean Wright. Was it Anthony Kerr? I can't definitely call up someone off camera, and I can't remember who it was. I apologise. It might have been Sean Wright actually, because the £525,000 a week, £525,000 valuation stands out to me for some reason. Like I say, it's been 2 or 3 days since I last recorded an episode of this series, but regardless, I've waffled enough. Let's go and play Manchester City, and then see if we can't get at least something out of the game. City starting lineup: 90 rated Ederson in goal, Sergi Roberto at right back, Kyle Walker at centre back alongside Aymeric Laporte, with Benjamin Mendy at left back. Deli Bashiru, Gomez and Foden in the midfield. They don't have that strong central midfield, City. Mahrez, and then 92 rated Jesus and 92 rated Sané as the remainder of their front 3. Sterling is very unfit, and a couple of their other central midfielders are very unfit. And outside of that, they don't have that stronger squad depth, Manchester City. A number of their higher rated players are not at the club anymore. They've been sold. Gundogan was also injured too, so that genuinely was one of the strongest central midfield trios that they could have put out. It's not that strong in rating, although is it going to show their rating there? Phil Foden's like 82 rated, so he still looks pretty decent, but I don't know anything about Claudio Gomez or Tom Dele Bashiru, so we'll wait and see. But Jesus 92, Sané 92. It's going to be very, very difficult against this Manchester City team. They have the best defence in the record as well, with only 10 goals conceded so far this season. Wilson. Out wide to Jayden Bogle. Benjamin Mendy is with me. And then to Tom Davies. Suarez Garcia. Tom Davies through the gap there. Gerzic into Suarez Garcia out of his feet. Well, Ederson with a comfortable save. He's going to be practically impossible to beat, I think, Ederson. At 90 rated, he's going to have grown so tremendously well that I'm really going to struggle against him. He's hard enough to beat at the beginning of the game in Season 1 when he's like 86 or 87 rated, let alone now at 90. Davies is going to find Harry Wilson here with the defenders all out of position. City getting torn apart here and stretched from one side of the pitch to the other. Uno into the middle. Oh, the miss with a header from Harry Wilson. I thought about getting a little bit fancy and holding in the left trigger and going for some sort of scissor kick, but I thought a header would probably stand a better chance of going on target. Evidently, I was wrong. Switching that nicely to Benjamin Mendy. Inside to Gomez, Foden, Mendy. City starting to find their rhythm. Deli Bashiro out wide to Sergio Roberto. Heavy touch from Gomez, but he will find a teammate who kicks it straight against Hill. And they have started to find their rhythm, City, but they haven't found it properly yet. Gerzic trying to get away, and he has accelerated away from the defender. Gerzic in the box. Good save by Ederson. It's annoying. Uno delivers, and Penny's there with a header. That could bounce anywhere. It's going to be Perella, the left back, the centre back even, on his left foot. That's where the word left came from. But unfortunately, again, Ederson behind it. We've had the chances in the opening 20 minutes. City yet to really threaten me. You know it's coming. And when it does, it's probably going to go in. Mahrez. Oh, he's just shown the strength there. And the cross comes in. Sané can't win it. Bogle does. And Perella will make sure the ball goes away for now. Oscar Hill's not the fastest, but he will get to that first. Whoop. Let's just keep possession, shall we? Let's not be wasteful. Suarez Garcia to Tom Davies. Now where do we go? Well, Gerzic has made the run, and he was just onside, I believe. The linesman agrees. Oh, and Ederson got plenty on it, but can't keep it out. Normally it's the pace of SABBI that punishes opposition defences. This time it's the pace of Gerzic. He really has stepped up. He's probably scored more goals, or just as many goals, as SABBI did in 3 months. In like the 3 weeks that he's been in the starting lineup. Gerzic wasn't the best of finishes, but Ederson really should have done much better. He's kicked it kind of straight at him, really, and it's just come off his arm there, Ederson, and into the side netting. I mean, I'll take it. It's City 0, Cambridge United 1.
That's a good spot by the defender.
Gomez down the line there to Riyad Mahrez. Oh, it's nicely played. And Jesus with the whip. Sané's there, but Bogle's up. Mendy with the first time hit from left back, but that was quite comfortable for the goalkeeper to pick up. Oh, it wasn't the best of passes, was it there, Jayden Bogle? Benjamin Mendy into the middle again, headed away by Catrauda. Gerzic down. Uno into Gerzic again, but caught on it by Gomez. Mahrez with the 1-2. Deli Bashiri's past me, and into Mahrez. Cool, that was wild. Not good enough, City, so far. Got out their strongest starting 11, but they're not playing to their ratings thus far.
We've still got 30 more minutes to go, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy
Sergio Roberto. Oscar Hill shows great strength there to hold off the man that's with him. Davies into... Oh, come on, let's go. Suarez Garcia is about to leave the field of play for Moreles. Oh, and he won't give us a second goal before doing so. Ederson, top stop. Another change for City as well. Ball whipped in, and Leroy Sané underneath that. It's David Silva that's come on for City now. Good whip by Uno this time. Oh, and again, a City player underneath it. Uno brings that down. Just try and drop the shoulder on Silva. That hasn't worked. That across with Perella. Looking for Tom Davies, which we did well, but Davies couldn't keep hold of the ball. Now here comes the counter-attack. Mahrez to Sané. Sané to Gomez, who's really low on stamina now, as is Benjamin Mendy. They've been playing high pressure all game, Manchester City, and it's clearly paying dividends for me with regards how tired all of their players are, meaning that they're getting very stretched here. And oh, it's a terrible pass, and I might have the opportunity towards the end of the game to get a second goal. If they're that tired with still almost 20 full minutes to go, then they're really going to be in trouble. Moreles, oh, his touch was okay, but he just couldn't slow down in time. Catrauda to Davies. Around the corner there to Gerzic. We'll look for Moreles. Oh, slightly overhit. He's won the tackle, but it will bounce free to Ederson. 15 to go. We still have our 1-0 lead. The tactics from Pep Guardiola here haven't worked. That high pressure hasn't paid off on this occasion. They're quite simply just really tired. Effort from Moreles is wide. Gabriel Jesus across to Sergio Roberto. And corner to Mahrez. City still looking for that equaliser, but still won't come.
So not much time left at all. What does this mean, Alan, for their
Walker.
next game?
Across to Sergio Roberto. Switch to Leroy Sané.
After this, and
Where's this going to end up?
really don't think
In the box, in the mixer. Keeper comes and catches well. On for what will be, I think, his 5th clean sheet for us, Angus Gunn. We haven't kept many this season.
In the short time that remains.
But I've still been impressed with Angus Gunn since he came in. He wasn't our first target, but we were able to get him in, and he has been decent enough. Gomez looking for Bernardo Silva. It's blocked well and cleared away, and that should be the final whistle. And is. We got the win against Manchester United because of the AI putting out a weakened team, but against a full-strength City and a full-strength Liverpool, we have been victorious, both away as well. At Anfield and at the Etihad, we've come out on top. Unexpected, but most very welcome. Up next for us is a simulated game against Wolves, actually, before Southampton arrive. Let's see, actually, I think we're away at Southampton, aren't we? Bailey, was that Bailey or Baker that I just trained? It was Bailey. Baker's up next. He's going to go out on loan. Loads of players are going to go out on loan in the month of January for the rest of the season. And I think the majority actually are for a year, so they might not come back till next January. Oh, Wolves are 11th now. We're actually, but they've got game in hand on us, so they'll probably go back above us by the time we face them. We're actually back up into 10th. Things are just swinging wildly from one extreme to the next. We're back down to 12th now that all the games have evened out. Lewis Baker is going to go out on loan for a month. So as we head into the game against Wolves, we're 4 points above the drop now, starting maybe to create a bit of a gap. Actually, only 3 points off 6th. It's so tight in the mid-table. So very tight in the mid-table. Right, simming Wolves at home. Gerzic is going to continue up top. I'm looking forward to getting Sabbi back, but it is going to be a shame to see Gerzic step out of the limelight for the time being. He has been very, very good for us in this short while that he's been starting week in, week out. We'll have a quick look and see what his actual goal return is. Harry Wilson equalises for us 5 minutes after Ronan gives Wolves a 1-0 lead. Penny has picked up a knock there. Hopefully he's not going to be injured long term. Oh, they've got a man sent off. And then went 2-1 up a minute later. Defeat against Wolves. That's frustrating. How can you get someone sent off and then score a minute later? David Amu's going to leave us on a free. He's up for 7 weeks, Matt Penny. That is going to affect us long term. That's really frustrating. Okay, we've got Cameron Lee to come in, but actually I can't do that because Cameron Lee's about to leave on loan once we get to January. Up next for us is Southampton, and it is another massive game. I'm not sure when Sabbi is expected to be back. It's not long now, I don't think, but hopefully he'll be back for the game against Spurs. Hopefully. This is exactly what I'm on about with regards to player form, etc., and players not being in the starting lineup where they should. Because of the probably 1 or 2 poor games, players like McCarthy not on the bench. Calabria's 87 rated on the bench, 83 rated El Yunusi on the bench with Buffal and Sims. You've got a 67 rated striker there with Lauren 82 on the bench. And then they've got more players here as well. You've got a 79 rated defender there. Look at all the down arrows for form. It's not taking into account anything other than form. And that form might just be one bad game, but then they never get the chance to turn that form around to get back into the starting lineup. It's just silly. That's why I'm going as far as doing all of the things that I'm doing here. I'm going to put Calabria there. Scherf is actually a right mid. So what I'm going to do is put Scherf. In fact, no. Let's do this. We'll put Calabria right back, Cirque left mid. I'll put El Yanusi on the left-hand side of midfield. Lauren can start up top. They've clearly got centre-backs that are much better that can go in here as well. Clara, so a 69 rated captain. It just shouldn't be happening. Do they have any other centre-backs? Caprodossi, 72 rated. Much better player. He's not even got the downward form arrow. He's just not playing for some reason. Mario Lamina, he's not good enough to start because Sabitzer and Mendes are in there, but he's certainly good enough to be on the bench. Got Mayo that can play at wing back as well. It's just silly. That's exactly the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing with every team that I'm doing it with. Hopefully you guys can understand the reasoning behind it. Modou Barrow can go onto the bench ahead of Barnes. It's just ludicrous. Vestergaard, he's not very fast, but we'll put him on the bench so that they've got options. I want a challenge. This is the only way that I can guarantee a challenge for myself. And we'll take Monnier out there for Gerzic. See, even there, I auto replace every game for Sabbi, and it always puts Gerzic in. But because Gerzic is on 95% stamina, it's thrown Monnier in instead. It's just silly. And he's in good form there, Gerzic, with the up arrow. But because he's on 95% stamina, it throws Monnier in. It's just broken. There's no other word for it. It is just quite simply broken. We shall head now and play a much stronger Southampton side than initially we were going to play. And hopefully still come away with a decent result. Right, you saw me select it, but just in this graphic here, McCarthy, Calabria, Caprodossi, Harela, Kamara and Mayo as the back five. Sabitzer and Mendes in the midfield with Sherp, Loren and El Yanusi as the front three. Southampton currently in the relegation zone. Also in the relegation zone are Liverpool at the 17 game mark. And Manchester United are right above us in the league as well. So that's another thing that is really annoying. And I actually had a quick look at the team stats prior to this game. And if I remember at the end of this game, I will show you a reason why I think those teams are where they are. It probably wouldn't surprise you to know that David De Gea, 93 rated David De Gea, has played 4 games of the 17 for Manchester United this season. Now Alisson has played just 5 of Liverpool's 17. And Sherp has given Southampton a 1-0 lead here on his own at the back post. It's Southampton 1, Cambridge United 0. Not the start we wanted at St Mary's. Cross there to Mendes. Around the corner nicely to El Yanusi, but we get the tackle in. Makes you wonder if Southampton are only in the relegation zone because of the state of that starting lineup. Like, obviously, as we can see here, and as we've seen in the way I put the team together, they have a really decent team. A great starting 11, but only half the players were actually in the starting 11. The fact that multiple teams this year, when I've been redoing the starting 11s, multiple teams have been playing goalkeepers that are less than 70 rated. You guys were telling me time and time again in the run-up to the Premier League that Mitov, for me, wasn't good enough to play in the Premier League. And I agreed, that's why I bought a new keeper. But the AI are starting Mitovs in almost every single game that I play against them, or wanting to start Mitovs. If I wasn't altering the starting lineup, they would be starting Mitovs against me in every single game. Whilst they had much, much higher rated players or goalkeepers available to them. They're clearly, as long as they're playing their strongest teams against me, it's not too much of an issue for most sides if they're playing that really low rated rotated 11 in other games, because by the time the season is over, things will level themselves out and the right teams ordinarily will end up in the right places. But as we can see on the occasional situation like we have now, Liverpool after 17 games are 19th in the table and Manchester United are 15th. So clearly it doesn't always work out the way that it should do, but that's the way Cream is. I'm quite simply just trying to make it work better than it does. That's all. I'm just trying to make it work more like it should do. basically, I'm probably going to call this episode Why I Do What I Do. Because basically, I've shown you in this episode what I do, and I'm telling you why I do it. And I think it's the right thing to do for... Strike from Oscar Hill! He's never done that before in the entirety of 4.5 seasons. 1-1 at St Mary's. I think I'm making the right call in going about doing things the way that I am at this stage in the season. At the Premier League level, I'm having to just select my opposition starting 11 because I want the biggest challenge. The AI clearly isn't clever enough to be able to select its best starting 11 for any given scenario either. That's why you see teams like Liverpool and Manchester United where they are in the league table. I get complaints in the comment section that it's unrealistic that big teams are down the bottom. I try and solve the issue of the starting lineups, which is why the big teams end up down the bottom. And then I get complained at in the comments that I'm doing exactly that. I don't seem to be able to win. And at the minute, I'm not seeming to be able to win against Southampton either. They've gone straight up the other end. They've gone 2-1 in front again. Sabitzer with a thunderbolt. 2 minutes before half-time. It's Southampton 2, Cambridge United 1. Sabitzer to Sherp. He's rolled well. A strength shown by Mancini, trying his hardest to win it back, but can't. And Sherp will deliver a dangerous ball that... Please tell me that won't count. Thank you. The ball ends up in the back of the net, but it won't count. Free kick given against Angus Gunn. I genuinely was waiting for the scoreline to tick over to 3 and for that to have been given as a goal. Thankfully, the referee saw otherwise and recognised the foul. With FIFA being FIFA, as we're seeing in many different ways today, I wasn't sure whether that was actually going to be given. Give that back to Jaden Bogle and quickly to Gerzic, who will drop the shoulder. The Swede! Oh, scores again! What a finish! Southampton 2, Cambridge 2, one hell of a game. Why wasn't City this sort of game? They had a much better team than Southampton do. That in itself doesn't make sense either. Around the corner there to Calabria. Down the line to Sherp. Cross could come in here. Oh, he's done brilliantly. And the cross is decent too. And Jaden Bogle just has to make sure that he heads behind. Lauren is going off. Not sure who they're going to bring on at striker. Sherp takes the corner. It's Gallagher that's come on. There's Mendes, all punched away by Angus Gunn. Very well done. Needed saving there. Perella gets that forward to Oscar Hill and the counter-attack is on, although don't have many players forward. Harry Wilson is there. Gerzic is on his bike. Oh, but I can't find him. Important block. Very important block from the centre-back. Time to take Suarez Garcia off, I think. And we'll bring Morelos on, and Harry Wilson might come off for Ziegler here too. I'm sorely tempted, actually, to give Monnier a chance, but 2-2 against a relegation rival isn't the opportunity or moment to give the youngster his first appearance for the club. Sherp. Oh, that ball roll has just completely killed me off. Gallagher. Oh, Khatroda with a vital interception. Pass not quite good enough though. And Sabitzer will find El Yunusi. And the keeper just didn't react. Another first time strike that's unstoppable. Sabitzer had one in the first half. El Yunusi in the second. Southampton 3, Cambridge 0. Couldn't quite get rid of it. And then first time, bang, the keeper just watches it. Doesn't even try. It's actually quite close to him, I think, there as it flies into the back of the net. Indeed it is, but Gunn just stands and watches as it flies past him. Must have been wrong-footed, I presume. Southampton 3, Cambridge 2. We're behind again. Drilled forward to Sherp. Driving down the line here, Sherp. Accelerating away. Where's the cross? Not yet. He's just destroying me. Sherp. Oh, great delivery. Sam Gallagher brings it down. Oh, Gunn can't gather it in, but we are able to get rid of it. That was dangerous. Oscar Hill looking for Gerzic. Ziegler's away, but can't find him. 5 minutes to go here. This Southampton starting lineup is not surprisingly beating us here. If you look at their overalls, there is absolutely no reason why this team should be where it is in the league, other than the fact that it doesn't play their best players every week. Sabitzer. Gallagher around the corner nicely looking for Sabitzer again. And down the line looking for Sherp. He's been one of their best players in this game so far, Sherp. Prior to my changing of their starting lineup, he was playing at right back in a 5-back. Play him at right mid where he's supposed to be played. And he makes one hell of an impact. Southampton 3, Cambridge 2. And you look at this, the starting ratings of their starting lineup, the overall ratings of their starting lineup. And that Southampton side is one of the best that we've played all season. Performance-wise, it's one of the best we've played all season as well. If they played that team every week for the rest of the year, they will not end the season in the relegation zone. Liverpool still in that relegation zone on 18 points, just 2 behind us. Forest a single point behind us. Man United still there in 15th on 21 games. Oh, it makes me so angry. Trying to make a realistic series or just an entertaining series where things go relatively as you might expect them to. But Liverpool in the relegation zone after 18 games and Manchester United 15 is just absolute nonsense. Arsenal 10th, Everton 2nd, Brighton 5th and Wolves 6th. It's just absolute arse, all of it. Up next for us though, it's going to be a game against Tottenham and hopefully we can avoid defeat on that occasion. Right, Tottenham starting 11. Hugo Lloris in goal. He's 82 rated and 36 years old. 88 rated Alexander-Arnold at right back. Vertonghen, Sanchez and Fernandes. Bender, De Bruyne and Fornals in the midfield with a 90 rated Dele Alli sat behind Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. I should get battered here, but as we saw against City and against Southampton, sometimes it's the teams that you think you should get battered against that you don't. And the teams you think you should do well against, albeit actually Southampton's starting lineup was pretty damned good, that you actually end up getting defeated against. So we'll wait and see what happens. I've no idea how this will go. To be fair, if City's starting tactics had been better and they didn't just sprint at me for the majority of the game and run out of stamina towards the end, they might have actually been able to get a victory against me. We'll wait and see what happens here against Spurs. But I'm expecting a particularly difficult game. Mancini into the middle there to Davies. Out wide to Jayden Bogle. Suarez Garcia just ran towards the defender rather than into space. Poked it there for Harry Wilson and we'll look for Gerzic in the middle, but that'll be Lloris's, although he's not tipped it safe. 20 minutes in, neither side really threatened taking the leads yet. Gerzic is going to have to be at his best though today because, is that a foul? It is. Because a certain Emmanuel SABBI is back from injury and on the bench. He's not yet fully fit, still got the little plaster symbol and not at 100% stamina, but he is on his way back, Emmanuel SABBI. So, despite playing really well in the spell where he's had the opportunity to play Gerzic, I do still favour Emmanuel SABBI for his physicality and his jumping. Harry Wilson's in the box here and strikes the ball well. So well, in fact, that he's desperately unlucky not to have given us a 1-0 lead there off the post. Dele Alli will get it away. That is probably the only goal mouth action worth showing you, and also certainly the closest either side have come to a goal so far. Here's Lars Bender to Kevin De Bruyne, out to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now Tottenham are trying to build some stuff of their own. Looks for KDB, and on his left foot as we hit the post, they go on the counter and bury it. Nice little back heel from Son. Oh, wasn't the back heel in the end. Left-footed by De Bruyne. Had Oscar Hill on his shoulder. Was it Getrauda? It was Getrauda, in fact, but nailed him after the ball had gone. 1-0 Tottenham. Son. Cross there to Fornals. Dele to Kane. Nice tackle by Jayden Bogle. Suarez Garcia out wide towards Uno. If Uno can get motoring, he's got that 95 sprint speed, so once he gets going, he's hard to catch. He just needs to get going. There is Harry Wilson at the back post. Trent Alexander-Arnold gets back. That would have been the chance. We scored a number of opportunities from set pieces last season. Corners especially. Harry Wilson looking to bend that. That surely took a deflection. It couldn't have been that bad, could it? It was. They really have nerfed finesse shots, haven't they? We scored a number of goals from set pieces and corners last season. We haven't been able to do that nearly as well this year. Amount of times Perella or SABBI or Getrauda popped up with a goal from a corner was crucial to our promotion season. What a save from Hugo Lloris. Corner to come in from Uno is delivered well and won well by Perella. Lloris makes the save. And we'll be looking to bring Sabbi on quite soon, actually. Gertruida was underneath that one, or nearly underneath that one. Perella out wide looking for Harry Wilson. Turns well one way and well the other. I might try and find a space for that left-footed effort. There it is. It's deflected off for Tongan and another corner. Keeping the pressure on. They're making a change. Go on then. Let's throw Sabbi on. It's time for Emmanuel to return to first-team football. Is he going to be able to make the impact off the bench that we certainly hope he can? He's there as potentially the target of the corner. It was actually Gertruida that it ended up going towards. Bogle will get this inside here to Tom Davies. I saw Mancini start to make a move, so we'll play him in. Oscar Hill is there. There's Suarez Garcia. Oh, touch wasn't the best. Sabbi gets the ball under his control, but then Davinson Sanchez just muscles it off him and wrestles it away. Hill. Uno to Suarez Garcia. And that's a long way wide. All of the pressure at the beginning of the second half, but nothing to show for it. It's Harry Kane. Across to Heung-min Son. Dele Alli. Out wide there to Karsdorp. Mancini tried his best, but couldn't get it off him. Son hits. God, it's pinging around. Absolute pinball right now. Nacho Fernandez and Lars Bender trying to get things under control again. Nacho will find Fornals here. Oscar Hill steals it away and will play it in front of Harry Wilson. Counter-attack is on. Suarez Garcia's on his bike. Sabbi's on his bike. Will look to send him through. This is what he's been best at for ages. Emmanuel Sabbi scores for Cambridge United. Welcome back. Gerzic has been great, but we have missed him. Oh, yes. That's what we signed him for. That's what he's done for 3 seasons straight. That's why he's going to start ahead of Gerzic. Emmanuel Sabbi back from injury, back on the score sheet. 6th goal of the Premier League season, level against Spurs. Kane. Oh, lovely dink over the top. Mancini will win that header. He's done brilliantly. Sabbi will win his, as always. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to direct it very well. Having 96 jumping is one thing. You have to have the accuracy with the header once you've won it, though, and that's not something Sabbi sometimes has the ability to do. Oh, it's really nicely played. Here's Rick Karsdorp into the middle, away by Perella. Sabbi will not bring that down, but Dele Alli knocks it straight to him. Oh, Sabbi, please, no. Davinson Sanchez just gets ahead of him. Oh, that would have been brilliant if he could have gotten away there. Speaking of getting away, Izuno, oh, he had to wait for the pass to arrive. Sabbi, though, oh, it's Oscar Hill. Here's Emmanuel Sabbi, forced wide, at the back post, awaiting, but not reacting properly to the ball coming towards him. Was Uno. It may even have been Harry Wilson, actually. Sabbi pokes that away and gets it back again. Suarez Garcia. Sabbi spins. Sabbi! Oh, good save by Lloris. I certainly feel a lot more dangerous with Emmanuel Sabbi in the starting lineup than I did with Gerzic. Gerzic did score goals. Oh, it's a lovely turn by Sabbi. On his left foot this time. Sabbi! Cambridge 2, Tottenham 1. We're going to end the episode with a bang. Oh, yes! If we are to survive this season, it's because of him. Sorry, headphone users. I may have just blown your ears off. I don't care. What a finish in the last minute against Spurs. 7th goal of the Premier League season. Emmanuel Sabbi. Oh, you better have hit the thumbs up on the video by now. I'm going to know who has or has not made it this far in the episode because of the reactions that you guys are going to have in the comments to that goal. Unbelievable stuff from Emmanuel Sabbi off the bench and rescues us against Tottenham. Unbelievable scenes. Manchester United beat Manchester City by 2-1. So we aren't going to advance too much further in the league. We aren't going to advance too much further in time either. On New Year's Eve, we have the FA Cup game against Birmingham. We don't have that busy a month of January. I do want to concentrate on the league. What is the... they're probably fit enough. And the next game isn't until Leicester on the 8th. I'll sim this now rather than waiting until tomorrow's episode for the transfer window. Might as well do it on transfer deadline day. On New Year's Eve. We should be strong enough to beat Birmingham here and get ourselves through to the next round of the Cup. In the Premier League, when we're not challenging for Europe, or challenging or fighting relegation, I will put more onus on the cups. If we were having a mid-table season, I would certainly have concentrated on the FA Cup here and played this game. But I cannot look past survival in the Premier League this season. SABBI equalises for us after Harding gave Birmingham 1-0 lead. Does look like we're going to go to a replay. We are going to go to a replay. Depending on who we've got, actually, I need to actually have a look at the teams. Depending on who we've got in January, I might play that. I might not. I'm not sure when the replay is going to be played yet. Cardiff is certainly a game I want to play. The league table looks like that then. At the exact halfway stage of the Premier League season, Liverpool in the relegation zone, still having won just 4 of their 19 games. Logic. Manchester United 13th. We are 5 points above the drop thanks to that last-minute winner from SABBI against Spurs. Spurs, who are currently now 4th. City top the table, despite the fact that we've beaten them so far this season. And Manchester United just beat them as well. Doesn't make any sense. Southampton and Liverpool. Southampton beat me, but I beat City. I beat top of the table, and I beat 4th, and I beat... Did we beat Everton? I can't remember if we beat Everton or not. But I just beat 4th, and I beat 1st in the past couple of episodes. And we beat Liverpool, but we lost to Southampton. So, logic. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Actually, I've got 6 emails here. The majority of it is kids leaving on loan. Baker's on loan, Lee's on loan, Harrison's on loan, and Green is on loan. And youth squad wise, Bailey's up to 64 now, so certainly starting to get there. Cooper's up to 61, which is good. Sprint speed is up, which is improving. Good. His finishing is getting there as well. Still 49, but obviously that will improve, I'd like to think. 62 for Rob Gray. 60 on the nose for Patrick Turner. Technically, he's starting to get there now. 74 stand tackles looking good, but physically he's still not good enough. Mason Taylor, 80 to 94 potential for him, so hopefully he grows really well. 65 rated now for Andrea Rizzo. He's 18 years of age now. I should probably promote him to the first team. Lucas Henriksen, 78 to 94 for him. He looks quite promising as well, although he's only 5'11", which isn't that good for centre-back, although he does have 79 jumping, so he might be able to cut it actually. 77 to 91 for Sean Wright. 72 to 90 for Anthony Kerr. The majority of these kids will probably not see, other than Elliot Bailey, who definitely will see first team football. And hopefully Colin Cooper, by the time he gets to a decent rating, will see first team football as well. The majority of these players will just kind of be trained up and sold on to raise money for the first team. But as things stand right now, SABBI is most certainly back. I know I've done a lot of waffling and chatting and talking in this episode, but actually, Rizzo, 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot. That's not the worst. It's not the worst. Physically, he could certainly improve, but there's potential there. There's potential there. We'll wait and see. Again, I'm quite happy with the starting lineup as it is. I'm not looking to do anything major in this window unless I get a bid for someone in the scenario that I mentioned earlier in the episode. Like if it's a massive team that you would see probably that player would want to leave to and try and force a move to in real life. Or it's someone like Uno who hasn't really performed so far this season and I would be open to letting go. So let me just have a look and see Uno's performances this season. Left mid, it'll be easier here. 4 assists in 18 games. That's just not Uno like. It's not good enough for 79 rated to one of my higher rated players. I need more. So if anyone's to go, it's Uno. But I'm not going to actively look to sell him at this stage because we look like the squad is capable of staying up this season, hopefully. And we don't have a massive amount of money to replace anyone. So that's where we'll leave it for today. Do let me know your feedback in the comment section down below. I know I've done a lot of talking today, especially with regards to the way that I'm running the series, but it's something that needed to be said. I needed to put across everything to you guys rather than have all the back and forth comments in the comment section. I needed to physically on camera say to you or explain to you my reasoning behind what I'm doing. So that's where we'll leave it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sure by now you've hit that thumbs up button, haven't you? Good. I'll see you tomorrow.